August 1st, 11:05. Deus 2 HF2 called firmware version 3.10. Curiosity can kill a cat. Well, curiosity with a metal detector can get you to dig a good target. Somebody asked me in a previous video about the XY screen on this detector. Does it have a purpose? Could it help you? Well, I'll give you one demonstration here. All right, using this call, I won't run any single frequency ops. I'll just run multi-frequency. We'll look at all of the bands, okay? Now, we're going to use this mercury silver dime here in the experiment, okay? See that? What this experiment is going to entail is under target plane masking with a lower conductor. You know, that can happen too, huh? And there's not a lot of people that shows videos on this. It's always same plane. Maybe the lower conductor is above the plane. What about below the plane? You see that can slow in there I cut? That's a Mountain Dew can. You see how big it is? You see the air gap there, and then there's a 2x4, and that dime's going to be setting up there. All right. So what we will do first, we'll just leave factory notch in the machine. I'm not going to use any notch, okay? And I'm going to transition out of this XY screen. Big ID. Okay, 29 kilohertz band. All right, so you get an idea of what that dime is reading. 53 kilohertz band. You see that. 89 kilohertz band. Okay. Now I've got a silver ring over here I could do this demo with too. I'm just going to use this silver dime, okay? Okay, so you've seen how that thing read. Now I'm at zoom level 4, XY screen, okay? Now I'm in the 89 kilohertz band. Whoops. You're going to see a pretty clean line on that detector. Okay? 53 kilohertz, same thing. But now that's a solo. Cancel's not in play yet. 29 kilohertz. Okay? So you see more of a solid, littler fluctuating trace on that XY screen when the dime is solo. Okay, so you could have a silver ring in a sight just an inch or two under the ground. It could have that can slaw under it, couldn't it? Okay, so now the mercury silver dime is going over here. It's setting above the plane. You see where it's at? Now we're going to repeat the test. Now remember, there's no notch in the machine. 29 kilohertz band. Now you're going to have to watch that ID up there. Now the ID's dropped to 84. How about that? But watch. See that trace, what it's doing? It's jumping all over the place. All right. Now I'm running, I think, pitch 2. Now that's pitch. We could even turn this audio response. Let's just turn audio response to 1 on this test. Okay, so I've got 84 in a meter now though, see? So you may see that in the wild. Without the XY screen, you'd be like, oh, well that's not even good enough to be a zinc and penny. But watch that trace. It jumps all over the place. Okay? Now here's the 53 kilohertz band. That trace looks nothing like it did when that dime was solo. The 89 kilohertz trace. Now, I'm at audio response 1. Okay. So as that thing gets deeper, the signal's going to get, you'll know that's shallow, won't you? With audio response 1, you can even run it at 0. There's 0. 90 sensitivity. I'm holding the call up. But you're hitting the target down there. You know that's shallow. But you see that trace. You wiggle that call, and that trace is jumping all over. I've got this detector hung in my shirt sleeve. So if I take the dime back over here, solo, and sweep it with the XY screen, it's not going to really be much of an issue because you've got that high ID in there, huh? But see that trace? Nice and clean coming across there. That's 89 kilohertz 53. You see that? So that XY screen is telling us there's something ain't quite right there, huh? And in this case, it's that lower conductive target down there below it. All right. Now, I'm not going to show mono program here, okay? But you'll also notice here the ID on this target, that's 83, 84. Here's 53 kilohertz. 77, the ID is going down, 89 kilohertz. 75. So those ID numbers running this machine in all of those frequency bands with that scenario right there might not interest you, huh? Or have you seen that XY screen like, wait a minute, I've got low audio response, it's a strong signal, which means it's probably shallow. Well, a shallow target, solo reading 74 is probably going to give a straighter line on that screen. Now, I could have used this silver ring right here, but I didn't, okay, to show you the same thing. So that XY screen may call a target into question for you to get your curiosity up. Okay? And this may have been a target that was swept by previous detectors, and they passed on it. They didn't take the bait. Okay, that's going to conclude the video. The mighty Deus 2 with the HF2 call demoing one possibility the XY screen has